The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Harrington, Director of Business Development here at Top Builder. Welcome to the 18th episode in our webinar series. Today's topic, dashboards and analytics for contractors and introduction to Contractor BI, will begin here in a moment. If you have attended any of our webinars in the past, it's the same format. The webinar is being recorded and we will send the recording and slides out tomorrow. And though all attendees are on mute, we encourage you, put your questions into questions or chat, and we'll address them before we end our session today. I will now turn it over to Dave Knowles, Founder and Chief Product Officer for Top Builder and Contractor BI. Dave?
Hey, Rob, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, so thanks everybody for attending. That was a great introduction. So what we're going to do today is we're going to spend about 35 minutes with another 10 minutes for questions on this particular topic. So if you've been to one of our webinars in the past, we try to follow a very specific format. We start off with an update on our webinar series. And then we try to follow this why, what, who, and how format. You know, why is this important? A little bit about the background of the topic we're presenting. We do poll questions typically, but we are not going to be doing that today. We're going to skip that part. And then we're going to dive into the topic and we're going to talk about what is Contractor BI. We're going to talk about who it's for very briefly. And then I have a slide on how it works. I'll go through that, but then the rest of it will be a demo, and I'll be showing you how it works, how to interact with the dashboards, and things like that. And we'll actually edit and create a dashboard during the webinar today, and we'll be doing that live. As Rob said, you will have time for Q&A. We're going to try to keep the presentation to about 30 minutes, 35 minutes. And then we'll do a Q&A after that. And then at the end of the webinar, there's a survey that's going to go out with the opportunity for you guys to give us some feedback on what dashboards you would like to see in Contractor BI. And we're really good about listening to people, and you're about to find that out. Okay. So real quickly, let's dive into the series update. What we try to do is we try to do a webinar, and we try to keep it educational. We try to do that every Thursday. The third Thursday of every month. And it's at 1 o'clock Central Time, just like we are now. And we're pretty consistent about doing that. Sometimes things get in the way and we'll move it around, but typically it's on the third Thursday of the month. In March, next month, we're going to take a deeper dive into some of the dashboards that we're going to introduce today. We call them the core construction dashboards, and we're going to really get into some of the details behind those dashboards next month. In April, we're going to cover details on a specific category of the core dashboards, which is the financial performance and the financial intelligence. And we're going to dive into the benefits of those, how it works, and we're going to get into some real specifics on the power of those things. And then in May, we're co-hosting a financial performance forecasting and risk management webinar with TUG. And if you're not familiar with TUG, TUG is the Sage user group. It used to stand for Timberline user group, but it covers all of Sage now. And we're co-hosting that. We don't have a link for that yet, but we will be sending that out and putting it on our website when we have the link for that. Okay, so that covers the next 3 months. Okay. Now, as Rob said, we will send out a recording and a link to this presentation after the webinar. We try to do it on Friday. And what you'll see here is I have screenshots of these dashboards. These are the real screenshots I'll be sharing with you today. I prepared them this morning. So you'll have these and you can use these as a reference, or of course you can reach out to us and we're happy to walk you through them. And also on our website, let me go to the website really quickly. Under the resource sections, and this may change to webinars, but we have a copy of all of our webinars that we've done in our past with the recordings on the website. And then the future webinars are there and available for registration directly on the website. So you can always go to that and watch previous webinars or register for future webinars. We will send out emails about this, however. Okay, so moving on to the next one is the topic background. So this is a bit of a story. I'm sorry for all the words, but I'll try to kind of cover it at a high level. This is the background behind ContractorBI and why we built it. And it goes back a long ways, 17 years. And Top Builder's been in business going on 18 years now. And over the long haul here, 17 years, we've met with a lot of contractors. We meet with about 1,000 a year. So 17,000 roughly contractors we've met with, or industry professionals like partners and consultants, but typically customers, prospects, and partners that we meet with. And we discuss with them during education, speaking events, workshops, interviews and surveys, what they're looking for and what they need. That's the third bullet. Now, the second bullet is about 6 years ago, NECA, National Electrical Contractors Association, came to us and said, we need some help. We're not able to track our bids. We're not able to forecast bidding activity and labor and revenue and track performance and so on and so forth. Find revenue gaps, holes in our bidding process. Where are we winning our jobs and where are we losing our jobs and why? And so we built a proof of concept with the support of NECA, and there's an organization called Electri that we worked with about 6 years ago to do this as well. But after all of these conversations and 17 years of meeting with folks, a common thread emerged. And, things changed as well. AI came along, data, dashboards, analytics became much more important over the last several years, for sure. But as we talked to people, we found a kind of a common thread. And the common thread was most of the customers that we talk to in the industry have data in a lot of different places. Accounting, estimating, project management, CRM, you name it, right? It's not consolidated, and I know you guys have heard this story before, but the biggest thing is it's not used for analysis and decision making. I know I'm making a general statement here, but this is what we hear, even when we're just talking about CRM and not ContractorBI or dashboards. These are the things we've heard over and over and over again. And there's also some very specific things that people come to us with. They have management reporting requirements that they're not able to satisfy without manual processes, spreadsheet. Some of them have access databases or homegrown solutions, but it's extremely time consuming. It's out of date. Once it's prepared, things change quickly. It's not accessible by everybody. And I think we know this story, but this is what we hear over and over and over again. Forecasting is another big issue, and forecasting can be anything from labor, job requirements to revenue, cash flow, you name it. But forecasting is a big deal. And I'm going to add a little color to this one. It's really important because we are a CRM primarily and a bidding management tool, a lead management tool, and we process and handle bid invitations. So preparing a forecast is very interesting if you don't have what's in your bidding pipeline and what's real jobs in project management or accounting in one place. A forecast needs to consider both. And so we have what's in the sales pipeline and the bidding pipeline, and we have what's in, let's just say Procore, Autodesk, job cost accounting like Spectrum, Sage, Acumatica, you name it. But we pull all that together in one place so you can do a proper forecast. It's really impossible to do that without that data in one place, and we take care of that. The ability to set up and track key metrics, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. But another big one is financial performance. Where are we losing money on jobs? What are the patterns around that? Are we consistently losing money because we're underbidding or underestimating labor, as an example. But taking all that all the way down to the cost code level, and then also rolling it up to analyze performance by estimate or job type, you name it, is needed. So you don't continue to lose money over and over and over again doing the same thing. We're going to help with that. And I think everybody knows this as well, but current solutions cost a lot of money, and they're frankly difficult at times to maintain. We talk to a lot of people that are, of course, on spreadsheets and Access or homegrown systems, and it's hard to maintain those. It's costly to maintain those, and the data is not available. Well, since Top Builder's been around for a very long time, we've got the data. We've integrated with job cost accounting, estimating, project management, you name it, it's there. So it's a pretty obvious next step for our company. And so after all is said and done, after 5 years of development and research, ContractorBI launched in October 1st of 2024. There was a beta program, and before that in June of 2024, but we took it live in October. So that's the background. Sorry for all the words on the slide, but I want you guys to know where we're coming from and why this is important. Okay, so what is ContractorBI? It is a trademark name. It's primarily two things. Primarily a platform to develop dashboards. Okay, go figure, right? So developing dashboards, but powerful interactive dashboards using the data that's already in your job cost accounting platform or project management platforms. It runs standalone. It also runs, and I'm going to demo this for you. It runs inside of Procore as an embedded app in Procore. And also, of course, you can access it directly from Top Builder. But it is a platform to develop powerful interactive dashboards, and we're going to demo that today. ContractorBI is also a comprehensive collection of pre-built dashboards designed specifically for contractors. And they're easy to modify. So if you don't see exactly what you want, and we're not perfect, and we'll never claim to be perfect. We actually learn new metrics that people want to track almost every day. But if what we have in ContractorBI is not exactly what you need, you can easily clone one of the dashboards, tweak it, and save it as your own. And that's wonderful. And it's real easy to do. I'm going to show you how to do that. All right. And then we don't claim to necessarily be a data warehouse, but we have so many integrations, and I'm going to share that slide with you here in a second, that it's almost becomes a data warehouse. ContractorBI runs on its own server farm in Amazon, its own data warehouse, and we're collecting data from our customers' accounting, project management, estimating platforms, you name it, and it's all in one place, which is wonderful. Okay, so that's what ContractorBI is, and who's it for? So there's dashboards that are specifically designed for specific roles like executives, sales managers, sales teams, estimators, project managers, and marketing teams. Crews could get in here to see what their schedules are and what their workload requirements are. We haven't seen them really doing that yet. That's why there's a question mark there. But there is dashboards for them to see, oh, I'm going to be on this project, out in the summertime, maybe. But primarily, executive teams, sales managers, project managers, you name it. There are specific dashboards for them, but they can all use almost every dashboard across these different roles. Okay, so that's who it's for. Now, real quickly, I'm going to read through this, but I'm actually going to demo it. So bear with me. I'll just walk you through all this stuff, and then I'm going to jump into the demo. So how does this thing work? First of all, like I said, you can access it from the Top Builder menu. You can access it embedded in other apps like Procore, Autodesk, and it also runs standalone. What's very important is there's security on these dashboards. So If you're not supposed to see a dashboard because you're not an executive, it won't show up. It won't be available to you. When you create your own dashboards, you can add security to each dashboard, so that you can say this is a restricted dashboard. Only managers can see it. And then if you are in a dashboard, we want to make sure that you can only see the data you're supposed to see. So if you're an individual, not a manager, not an admin, you have to be assigned to the project to see the metrics. You have to be assigned as the salesperson, project manager, or one of the estimators on the project. Now, there's a way to get around this by sharing the project, but it's a deeper dive into Top Builder security. But just want everybody to know people can only see what they're supposed to see in these dashboards. Okay? Now, there's 45 pre-built dashboards that are grouped by core categories: job performance, forecasting, bidding, sales, KPIs, executive dashboards. We're going to show that to you. And we already talked about creating new or editing existing dashboards. Again, we're going to demo that. Now, it does utilize your existing data like we spoke about. We've got a little slide here to kind of show you the different categories of the integrations. It even works with Excel. You can import Excel right into here and create data structures with that, data sources. But, within the accounting, project management, customer satisfaction, service management, you see all the categories here. This feeds ContractorBI, and you need all this data to do a proper dashboard. Otherwise, you have gaps in your business. You can't see everything you need to see, but this solves that problem. It fills those gaps. And of course, we're going to ask a question about this at the end in the survey. If we're missing something, we want to know about it. And so let us know. We can add these really quickly because the structures is in place. We just add the data source, we build a dashboard, we're off and running. Okay. So let's go back to this slide. And what we're also going to do, we're going to do a little demonstration on how to interact with the dashboards, how to filter, drill down, export, expand, see the raw data, change the colors and themes. And then also what's really important is that we're always looking at what we call key project attributes. Those are things like job type. Analyze your sales performance, your bidding performance by job type. Do the same for market segment or industry. We even track sub-industries. A lot of people have repeat customers. What is our performance against certain customers? And again, divisions, geographies, estimators, project managers. Where are your leads coming from? Lead sources. You get the picture, but these are the key project attributes that we allow you to analyze. And if you want more, we'll add more. Some people have user-defined fields that we track, special things like private jobs versus public jobs, union versus non-union. If you're an electrical contractor, we do that as well. And we offer a free day trial. Okay? Super cool. All right, so now we're going to get into the demo. Real quickly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, first of all, if I log in, very important, we use these dashboards ourselves at Top Builder, and we're very proud of that. So we use these dashboards. Yes, we're not a construction company, we're not a contractor, but we analyze our sales, we analyze our conversion rates, we analyze our marketing activity, usage, so on and so forth. We use these ourselves. And it's very important that you know that because we live by this and we run our business by this. All right, so let me go ahead and log into Top Builder really quickly. And you'll see that you can launch ContractorBI from, I'm going to go to this one as the default, from the dashboard. Now, if you don't have access to ContractorBI, it'll give you a warning and you can start a free trial if you want. And then each time you log in, it'll just tell you, you have X number of days left on your free trial. You can also go into Procore. I'm sorry, I'm just toggling over here, but I'm logged into Procore right now. And I just wanted to show you all that I can go ahead and launch ContractorBI directly within Procore, which I'm doing right now. And I don't know if you noticed this, but it actually remembered that I was using Contractor BI within Top Builder, and it took me back to the same place I was when I launched it in Procore. It remembers you. So it's really cool. I'm not going to talk about the embedded app in Procore anymore, but I just want you guys to know that this is available. Okay. Now, let's bounce into the interaction with these dashboards. Okay. First of all, again, there's security on the left-hand side. If you're not supposed to get to a dashboard, it won't appear in the list. And then if you go to a sales funnel, as an example, or you go to a sales funnel trend, you can only see the data you're supposed to see. And if you're not assigned to the job, or if you're not a manager, you're not going to be able to see it. Now, interacting with the dashboard is really cool. If you see I hover over these sections, I can say, okay, well, hold on. I've got 5 jobs that are in estimated complete status. Let me click on those and see what is the revenue for those, weighted revenue, that's by probability. And let me also see what those actual leads or jobs are down here. And then once I'm looking at those actual jobs, if there's a longer list, let's create this long list. I can expand this full screen so I can get a better view of it. Okay. And then what I can do is I can actually drill down on one of these leads to say, hey, what the heck is going on with this lead? I can do that. And it'll open it up right from the dashboard, which is really slick. Okay. So while I'm here, I got to move my GoToMeeting panel out of the way. So while I'm here, let me go ahead and show you that you have the ability to see the data behind the dashboard. If you're curious about the data, you see it there. You can even go down to the raw data behind the dashboard and analyze every single piece of data that populates that grid, that chart, whatever it may be. Or you can look at it at the aggregate level. And then you can also export these. You can export to a PDF. And by the way, it looks really good as a PDF. And then, of course, you can export to Excel. You can export as to a graphic, but people typically don't do that. Okay. Now, once I'm in here and I can filter, like we said, I can apply filters. This is a funnel, and so it's not date driven. Almost every single dashboard has a date filter on it. And you can set your filters, okay, by selecting individuals or job types or whatever, depending on the dashboard. And then, it'll apply that filter. But then you can go in and clear your filters. And then it'll tell you up here at the very top, what filter have I applied? Now, some people may not like this, this kind of dark theme. So if you don't like this, you can go in and change your theme, and it completely changes the look and feel of the dashboard based on that. I like the dark one probably because I stare at this all the time, but everybody can set their own preferences. And of course, it remembers all of this. All right. Now, real quickly, I want to go down to the one lost analysis, because on here, I want to demonstrate a little bit of the drill down. I'm looking at why I'm winning my jobs, what my won loss ratios are. I'm looking at this by salesperson, job type, industry. And as I hover over these, you can see that I can drill down. But what we also do is right here, I'm looking at the conversion rate by dollars, but I can just look at number of wins if I want to. I can look at number of jobs converted. I can look at total revenue won, or I can look at revenue conversion rates. Really neat and really powerful. And you can see we're doing that across all of these dashboards, which is fantastic. Okay, and here's a date filter. Of course, this is going backwards, and I can set my date filters. But if I click on another thing, and I've got multiple filters applied, it will show you that as well under this little blue filter. Okay, so I think I've covered everything on how to interact with the dashboards. And yes, I have. Okay, fantastic. All right. So now let's go through and demonstrate some of the core dashboards. I'm going to go through these one at a time. I'm keeping an eye on the time. We've got about 10 minutes before the Q&A. So if you have questions, go ahead and put them in the GoToMeeting. I guess it's a chat box there. But I'm going to run through about 8 different categories here. And then I'm going to edit a dashboard at the very end. And I'm going to go fast. I'm not going to read all this. I just want to give you an overview. Again, next month, we're going to do a deep dive on all of these. Okay, let's start with the executive dashboards. Oh, and again, I'm taking screenshots over here on the right. So I'm actually showing you these screens live, but they are in here as screenshots, and you're going to get a copy of this. All right, great. So let me go to the executive weekly scorecard. Real quickly, executives can go in here once a week. They can see activity, how many new opportunities we get last week, bidding opportunities, how many bids did we submit, how many did we start bidding on, what are my, and now these are going to be the high level KPIs, the corporate level KPIs. Where do we stand against the goal? Where should we be to date? We call it goal to date. So if I am supposed to get 150 sales this year, that means I should have 24 by now, and it looks like I'm pretty far behind. So you can see that on these executive dashboards. You can also see the trends week over week, and then you can compare what your targets are against your actuals. And you can see here, I've got a monthly target, and I'm looking pretty good for May, but I'm not going to make February unless I do a big job tomorrow. March is falling behind, and I'm not looking good for the rest. That's looking forward, and then looking backwards, I can see these trends as well. Okay, so I'm going to nibble on the KPIs really quickly because that's kind of an executive function, but these are all the KPIs for the entire company. I'm going to go back to this later. Okay, so that's executive dashboards. Next is forecasting. This is a whole demo by itself. But what we're going to do with forecasting, of course, there's revenue, there's cash flow, there's labor, job resources. We can, all kinds of things. And one of the neat things that we do about this, it depends on what your desire is, but we prepared forecasts based on historical conversion rates so that you can say, well, if we get this type of job or for this customer and it's this size job, we typically convert 50% of those. That goes on the forecast, and we use the data to analyze it. It's not, I wouldn't say it's AI, but it's pretty smart using all this history that does these forecasts and prepares these forecasts. And also aging. How long does it take from a bid submitted to a job awarded? That's history we use to develop forecasts. It's really, really powerful. So let me go ahead and show you a couple of those. I'm just going to go into a revenue forecast, and we can see based on a date range what we're expecting revenue. Weighted revenue, again, is by probability. But then the revenue detail is going to show you all the way down for each job. And I said this at the beginning, you can't do a really good forecast unless you know what's in the bidding pipeline and what's in a real job in the same dashboard. And so the orange ones are in the bidding cycle, and the green ones are real jobs that live in your accounting system or your project management system. And we put that on one dashboard for you. So you have a true forecast. And we do the same for labor. Okay. Labor, workforce, call it what you will, but I'm going to expand this out, and I can show all my jobs, where people are assigned, where we don't have anybody assigned, and which one of these projects are in the bidding cycle, again, orange, or real jobs, which are green. And again, you can export all of this stuff to Excel. Forecasting, again, whole nother demo. Real quickly, KPIs, I was on that a second ago. I'll jump to that. I think everybody knows what a KPI is, but we like to measure KPIs 2 ways. Where do we stand against the goal, the ultimate goal? and where do we stand against the progress, or what's our progress to date? So sales to date, we're only 2 months through the year. Where should we be right now? And we put these little gauges there to tell you how you compare to where you should be. And then we have these bar charts, and we have a list of all these items too. And you create the KPIs in Top Builder, and it drives what's on this dashboard. Okay. KPIs can be targeted to the company, a division, an individual, a job type. So we can break it out that way. That's the applies to here: company, division, individuals. Okay. All of that on one dashboard. All right. It's KPIs. And okay, job performance. This one's fun. So this is a detailed breakdown of a job, and it's also summarized in financial performance. And it looks at, from your accounting system all the way down to the cost code level and the cost category level, where have you made mistakes, or where have you underestimated or overestimated your project? Behind the scenes, we're tracking the job type, the customer, the estimator, the project manager. All the things we talked about at the beginning. I'm looking at one job here, but you can see where mistakes are made, where we underestimated labor. That can be in dollars, that can be in hours. Everybody knows the big categories: the labor, materials, equipment, subcontract, and other. All of that's represented, but it's also totaled. So we can see in total, are we in trouble, or are we on track, on budget? Okay. We're gonna do a deep dive on this in a future webinar. Okay, wonderful. Job performance, and then bid management. Okay, bidding, obviously in construction, that's the core of our business. We are going to track your bidding activity. Let me see here. Yeah, bidding activity. Who's bidding what and when? Some people call it we have some people call it a bid board, but we're tracking all the activity and who's responsible for the activities. And then we're looking at the statuses of all the bidding activity. I love trends. Most people love trends, but we're looking at all the different stages of the bidding life cycle here. And we're looking at, bids submitted are up and down. Now these are arrows up and down. We can easily convert this to a line chart. And then you're seeing these little trend charts up here as well. By status: bid submitted, job awarded, no bid, so on and so forth. There's also bid performance. Obviously conversion rates. We always look at conversion rates by number of bids and then the dollars. And then we have bid intelligence, which also tries to help you understand kind of where the sweet spot is. Sweet spot being, if I bid it at this markup or this margin, I'm going to win the job, but you don't want to underbid it, because then I'm going to lose money, if that makes sense. So we're trying to help you analyze all your bidding activity to understand where those key markup and margin areas are, so that you prepare a proper estimate so you actually get the work, but you also make money at the same time. Pretty important, right? Okay. So next is, where am I here? Bid management. Okay. Next is sales and lead management. Well, we're a CRM, so there you go. Let me go up here and look at the sales funnel. We've already seen it once, so I won't spend much time on that. But then we also have, again, loving trends. What is the trends of my sales funnel? Am I getting better? Or am I getting worse? Okay. And I want to see how many, let me click on here and change the filter a little bit. How many new bid opportunities am I getting? Why am I getting so many in August and I have none in November? Okay. The trends, how many bids am I submitting and how many are converting into jobs? There's a conversion rate one here as well. This is the numbers. These are the dollars. And then I'm looking at a monthly trend down here in a bar chart. And one of the things that I found, frankly, that was very useful in my own business was looking at the trends over 5 years. Am I getting more qualified bid opportunities over the years, or am I getting less? In other words, what is my marketing team and my sales team doing a better job or less? Or I could be growing because I bought a company, or we expanded into a new division or service, a service area. But very, very interesting to see this on a chart. So this is the sales funnel trend, but then we like to see the conversions. How am I converting my sales stages to a job? How many new bid opportunities am I converting? 25%. How many bids submitted am I converting? What is my conversion rate? 50%, 25%? I don't know. Is it getting better? Is it getting worse? If it's getting worse, we need to go look at individuals and job types and find out why is it getting worse. Who knows? You don't know until you start seeing it on a chart and then asking questions. Okay, so that's the sales. And then there's marketing. I'm going to go through this one quickly because we're about to run out of time. But marketing is really focused around marketing activity and engagement. I'm going to go to the engagement summary. How many times are we reaching out to customers with a phone call, with a meeting, with a lunch? Did we take them to, somebody keep telling me he wants to track the hockey games he takes. We have a lot of Canadian customers. How many hockey games did I take this customer to? They're tracking all of this. And, how many engagements do I need before I close a deal? All of this is in the marketing and the engagement summary. And one of the things that I love to look at is when is the best time to get engagement. And this is primarily like an email or a phone call. And sorry, the data is a little sparse here, but we actually found this out ourselves. Thursday morning actually happens to be the best time for us to send out emails or make phone calls. I never would have guessed that until I saw it on a chart. Okay, and then finally, we have an other category where we're gonna talk about this in a couple months. But operational dashboards, service and maintenance, customer satisfaction, safety and compliance, inventory and equipment management. We also have very specific integrations around the specific integrations, employee use, and data health. But the specific integrations allow you to go into like Procore's integration, because a lot of people have, we have these integrations, but it's a black box. Data goes in, data comes out. Okay, what the heck? I can't see that. I don't know what's going on. But if we have a Procore dashboard, you can see when they last synchronized with Procore, how many companies have we synchronized with, projects, and then we can even see active projects and in what stage they're in. This is just a Procore example, but we have a bunch of these as well. Okay, now we're going to real quickly edit a dashboard, and then we're going to go to questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a dashboard, and I'm kind of picking on this one because it's a little sparse. And I'm going to take this dashboard real quickly, and you can see that it's estimating or analyzing estimator performance across the major cost types. Labor, materials, equipment, subcontract, other. We know those types. And we also have totals here. And this is by estimator. But let's just say, all right, that's wonderful. I only have 4 estimators. I want to also go in and edit this dashboard. And so I'm going to go in and I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to clone this one grid. I'm going to create a new grid. And you know what? I don't want it there. I'm just going to drag it down here. And I want this grid not to be by estimator, but I'm going to change that from estimator from my data source, okay, to project manager. Boom. All right. I just changed this whole dashboard and made it job performance grid by project manager. I need to change the title on there, but it's by project manager. Okay, and then I can remove columns if I want to, so on and so forth. But let me go ahead and, you know what, maybe, just real quick, I'm going to get rid of a bunch of these. Maybe I want to see this as more of a chart or a visualization. So I'm going to go do that, and I'm going to change it to a chart. And now I can see the 0 is right here in the middle, and I can see where individual project managers are making money and where individual project managers are losing money. And you can add a legend to the top of this. Really neat stuff. And it's that easy to do. And so let me go ahead and switch this back to project manager. To estimator. And then we'll save it. Actually, you know what? I'll just save it the way it is. If I go and save this, it's going to allow me to save this dashboard, and I can target it. Let's just say to project managers, or I can target it to estimators or admin or sales managers, or I can go in and target this. This could be my dashboard that I just made and target to an individual or a territory or division, and then I can put security on it and make it restricted. Okay. And then if I want to, I can just clone this whole thing and create a brand new one and give it a new name for David, and then save it. Whoopsie. Never typed during a webinar. And then now it's saved. Super, super neat. And so now you can see right here where I saved my own dashboard. It's right there. And now I have my own dashboard. The other one is not touched. All right, super cool. Okay, so now we are going to take questions and wrap this thing up. Did we lose our facilitator? Do we have questions? Let me see here. Chat. Got it. Okay, I don't see any questions. If anybody has a question, go ahead and type it in. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and wrap this thing up. And again, you will get a recording. We try to get it out by tomorrow, a recording of the webinar. And also, we'll have a link to this presentation, which has all the screenshots and examples. And then, of course, you can reach out to us if you want a demo, either here or from our website. Okay, everybody, so thank you so much. And again, there's going to be a survey to allow you to give us some input on what dashboards you would like to see as we wrap this up. Thank you all.